Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into a world where the conflict is just incredibly layered. We're talking trauma, massive political betrayals, ancient magic, all crashing together.
Yeah, it's intense. Our sources really throw us into this chaotic civil war in the Nikan Empire. And it's not just Nikan fighting Nikan. You've got huge foreign tech involved alongside this raw shamanic power.
And we're zeroing in on one figure at the heart of it all, right? Commander Rin.
Exactly. Her story is the lens. She's dealing with some serious trauma, addiction too, while trying to lead these, well, supernatural assassins. And somehow, her very personal struggle starts dictating these huge strategic outcomes.
So our mission today is really to unpack that. The cost of her command, the sheer cynicism of the politics involved and how the shamanic power actually works and, what it demands.
Right, and it really starts inside Rin's own head, not on some grand battlefield.
Yeah, the sources are pretty clear. She's fighting this internal war directly because of what happened before Kerbalain's spear, these massacres she was involved in.
And her way of coping is chemical, heavy dependence.
Opium laudanum. She basically says it gives her hours where she just doesn't have to think or remember anything. Complete numbing.
And you see the flip side, too, the withdrawal. It's
Yeah.
physical twitching, this, low-level panic in crowds. Her trauma's so close to the surface.
Like that incident in Adlaga. Fireworks go off, supposed to be a celebration, but for her.
It's explosions. It's limbs flying, kids screaming. The flashback hits so hard she just loses it, unleashes Phoenix fire, completely uncontrolled.
Which is a massive problem, especially given who she commands, the psych.
Right. They're not your average soldiers.
Yeah.
Elite assassins, yes, but they're also afflicted, bound by these divine powers and this shared unifying purpose.
Which comes from a pretty dark place. Common betrayal by the Empress Dodgy.
Exactly. Dodgy sold them out. So their whole existence is now basically geared towards getting revenge on her.
Yeah.
Killing her.
But how do they handle the fact that any one of them could, snap, go full divine meltdown?
They have this really grim philosophy for it. The psych calls the psych.
Wow.
Yeah. They basically accept they're dangerous, that they live on this edge, and they have to police themselves. Baji even tells Rin, look, we all learn to live on the precipice of insanity. It's part of the deal.
But that acceptance doesn't stop the mission from failing when Rin loses control. Adlaga proves that.
Totally. The whole assassination attempt goes sideways because she almost burns down the block. Chagan, her second in command, he has to physically step in.
He sedates her with laudanum.
Yeah, knocks her out cold. And he doesn't mince words, calls her a fucking mess, tells her flat out her job is to control the power to protect them, not endanger everyone with her utter lack of control.
That's brutal, but maybe necessary.
It seems like the wake-up call. She can't just numb it anymore. She needs a real solution, a magical one, to get this power back under control.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. From her personal crisis to the bigger picture, what's the state of the Nikan Empire at this point? The thing she's supposedly fighting for?
Oh, it's a mess. Completely fractured. There's this scene, a council meeting with the warlord's ox, hare, dog. And they're not talking grand strategy. They're arguing about refugee papers, who gets what food stores, basic logistics. It just shows how broken the old system is, this 12-province structure. It just can't handle the crisis.
And overseeing all this incompetence is the Empress Dodgy.
And she's just watching. She's terrifyingly stable amidst the chaos. She knows their bickering keeps her safe, keeps her in power. Masterful in a chilling way.
But there's an alternative being pushed, right? By Vizier Yin, the Dragon Warlord. He talks about a republic.
Yeah, elected officials, a parliament. It sounds good on paper.
But how real is that vision for him?
Not very, seems like. Vizier is cold calculation personified. He totally schools Rin on her deal with Moab, the pirate queen. Just mocks her. You're so terribly naive. Moab was always going to sell you out.
So it's not about ideals for him. It's about winning.
Exactly. He plays chess, not fantasy politics. And his biggest piece on the board isn't ideology. It's tech.
His navy?
His modern navy. Built with Hesperian technology. Ships like the Kingfisher, 12 cannons aside. He lays it out plain. The Empire does not have a functioning navy. I do. That tech gap is his leverage.
Okay, so Hesperia, the Grey Company, they're the ones providing the tech. This civil war is basically a proxy war now.
Absolutely. And their tech is, next level. Whale-sized dirigibles flying ships. 2-stage rockets. Ramza, the weapons guy, is practically drooling over them.
But the Hesperians aren't just handing it over, are they? There's an ideology attached. Makerism.
Yeah, and it's pretty ugly. Sister Petra, who leads their forces, basically views the Nikara as lesser peoples, like children who haven't evolved to our level yet.
Seriously.
Seriously, they demand signs of rational sentience, proof the Nikara can self-govern before they give full help. They're treating the whole war like a spectacle, judging if the locals are worth saving.
That's incredibly cynical, withholding aid while people are dying just to see if they measure up.
It's classic colonial arrogance. But okay, back to Rin. Visera needs her power, her controlled power, to win his war. But after Adlaga, Daji put a stop to that, this seal. What is it exactly?
It's like a magical block. Daji somehow interfered with Rin's connection to the Phoenix god. So Rin is a shaman, but she can't access the power. She's cut off.
Which explains why the Hesperian scientists, like Petra, find nothing when they test her. They're measuring, asking questions, but there's nothing to measure. Magically, she's blank.
So Hesperian tech can't fix a magical problem. They need something older, which leads them to the Hinterlanders, the Ketrade clan.
Right. These guys have the knowledge the modern empire lost, and their solution is intense. It's a ritual called twinning.
Twinning. Okay, what does that involve?
It's designed to bypass the seal. The idea is to bind Rin's soul to someone else's Kite's soul, specifically. He becomes an anchor.
An anchor, so the power flows through Kite to reach Rin.
Sort of, yeah. It circumvents Daji's block. And they choose Kite because the Sorkan Sira, the ritual leader, says the bond works best between two souls that are already familiar. Their existing connection matters.
But it sounds incredibly risky.
Oh, hugely. They paint script on their skin, take this ritual drug-fly agaric mushroom, maybe steeped in horse urine,
Yeah.
described as more elegant than opium, interestingly.
Huh. Ancient ritual clarity versus modern chemical numbing.
Exactly.
Hmm.
But the real risk, the consequence, if one of them dies, the anchor breaks.
And the other one dies too. It's a shared fate.
Completely. And Kite, remember, he's not a shaman. He's just Kite. But when they explain this like potential suicide pact,
He just agrees.
instantly, doesn't even let Rin argue, just says, I'm not asking your permission, Rin, we don't have another choice. Total loyalty, total sacrifice.
Wow. Just to give her back the weapon they need. Okay, so the ritual works. She gets the fire back.
Partially, yes, but it's not like flipping a switch. The Phoenix is still there, wanting to take over, burn everything. She has control back, but she has to fight for it, moment by moment.
Ow.
Pain. The sources describe her literally stabbing herself in the leg during combat. The physical agony becomes an anchor, a way to force mental clarity, to choose not to surrender to the god's rage. It was horrible, but it lets her choose. Now she could choose.
Okay. So Rin has her fire back, anchored through Kite. This leads to the big confrontation, right? The Battle of the Red Cliffs.
Yeah, and this is where the Republic strategy, Kite and Ramses' brilliance, really shines.
What was the plan?
Absolutely audacious. They rig the huge cliffs overlooking the river with explosives. Fuses strung with nails, the works, the goal. Trigger a massive avalanche right onto the Imperial Navy, Daji's big floating fortress included.
Using the landscape itself as a weapon.
Precisely. And Rin's role changes completely. Kite builds her this contraption, leather wings, powered by her own fire, generating localized heat.
She can fly.
She can fly. She takes on the Imperial wind god, Phelan, in this insane aerial duel. It's shaman versus shaman, high above the battle.
That sounds incredible, but victory usually comes at a cost in these stories.
And this one's steep. Ramza. He sees the timing is critical for the explosives. He basically makes himself bait, draws fire, ensures the detonation happens at the right moment.
He sacrifices himself.
Gives his life so the others, Rin included, have a window to escape. Heroic, but devastating.
And right after this hard-won, costly victory, that's when Visera shows his true colors.
Completely. The mask drops. He admits everything. Admits the Hesperians deliberately held back aid before, letting the Empire bleed, just waiting for Visera to clear the board of rivals.
So his whole Republican movement was just a tool, a way to consolidate power for himself, to make himself the only viable partner for Hesperia.
That's exactly it. It was never about democracy. It was about becoming the sole broker. And then Rin, desperate, plays her last card. She reveals Nez's secret.
Visera's son, he has powers too.
Yeah, this dragon mark. He can control water, currents. And Visera knew all along. This was his deepest motivation.
How so?
His wife, Sakara, made a deal. The Hesperians promised they could fix Neza, cure his condition, whatever it is. That promise, saving his son, trumped everything. Empire, loyalty, Rin, all secondary.
He traded the war for his son and Rin, the shaman who just won him the battle.
Expendable. Visera basically tells her, you're no longer necessary. And then he just hands her over to the Hesperians, trades her away like a pawn.
Betrayed, used up and discarded. What does she do?
This is the turning point. She could run, she could submit, but she doesn't. She looks at the situation betrayed by the North, the Hesperians waiting.
And she chooses defiance.
She chooses the people of Visera and the elite discarded, the southern warlords, the refugees they called mud. She decides to rally them, use Moag's pirate network, use their sheer numbers, their desperation. She starts a new revolution from the bottom up.
So the whole nature of the war shifts again. It's not just province versus province anymore.
No, now it's the established powers versus the marginalized, the excluded, led by a betrayed shaman burning with righteous fury. She chose her own side, finally.
Okay, so stepping back from all this, what's the big takeaway here?
I think it's that, even with flying ships and god-level powers running around, what really drives this conflict isn't just the tech or the magic. It's the human element. The cold calculations of geopolitics, the betrayals, and ultimately individual choices and resolve. Rin turning to the mud completely reshapes the power dynamics. Loyalty, self-interest. Those are the real weapons here.
And it leaves us with a really complex question, doesn't it? We've seen what the Phoenix can do, the destruction it unleashes. Wynn can only access it now because of Kite, because of this soul bond, this twinning.
Right.
He agreed to it, yes, willing sacrifice. But using someone's soul, even a willing one, as a conduit for that kind of terrifying city-destroying power. What are the ethics of that going forward? Is there a line? Even in total war, that's something that lingers, I think.